Welcome back to another episode of Heroes of HR. We are live at iSoft Connect in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I've got Jaryn and Ivan from ZayZoon with me today. Gentlemen, how are you?
Fantastic. Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Okay, so before we kick off, we've never met before. Well, we met for like a few minutes in the hallways here. Let's start off with introductions for the audience. Jaryn, let's start with you.
Sure.
Just introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them what you do.
Great. Yeah. My name is Jaryn Friesen. I'm with ZayZoon. My role with ZayZoon is to help employers and employees kind of maximize the partnership that we've got with iSoft.
Okay. And Ivan.
And I'm Ivan Alumia. Same gig as Jaryn, though not as eloquently put, but we have the same role.
That's all good. So, okay. So for those who don't know ZayZoon, right? We're talking about earned wage access. So Ivan, let's start with you. Tell us about ZayZoon. What is earned wage access for those that don't really have an understanding of what this is?
Sure thing. So within ZayZoon, there's a few different financial wellness benefits available, though one of the most popular services that we offer is earned wage access. And that's where we provide employees with the extra flexibility with their paychecks and that they can get paid whenever they want before payday.
Right. Okay. So earned wage access, I feel like over the last probably 2 years or so, 3 years, it's really picked up a lot of steam kind of post-COVID, right? People need more access, and with the onset of like Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and all of this, people are very accustomed now to getting access to their earnings when they earn them, and not every 2 weeks. Or for some people, we were talking to someone last week, they get paid monthly. Like, I'm not sure about you, but I could not function on a monthly paycheck. Jaryn, where are you seeing earned wage access being the most impactful? What industries are really taking advantage of this?
Yeah, I think the short answer is everywhere and everybody. But if we did have to narrow that down, I think there's two kind of trends that we see. One of those is the deskless worker. Yeah. That's a bit of a tongue twister. I'll say that again, deskless worker. I think I nailed it that time. And that's just because their needs are changing, right? So like you mentioned, the gig economy is a huge part of people's earnings and income capacity now. And so being able to access your wages when you've worked them kind of sounds like a no-brainer. And I think that's a really enticing thing for a lot of hardworking people.
Yeah.
And then the other side of that too is just anybody that's working, hourly wages, right? They're working, maybe they're taking shifts, they're trading shifts, and being able to kind of, customize your own cash flow and take control. That's a huge perk.
Yeah. Where are we seeing, Jaryn, people generally using these funds, right? So they access their funds, and I'm sure there's a limit, right? We could talk through that. When they are taking funds, are they taking it to go out to eat? Are they taking it for bills? Where are you seeing the most usage?
Yeah, the biggest thing is those monthly essentials, whether it's groceries, fuel, and that's one of the reasons why we've partnered with over 150 different retailers as well. So you can access these wages. If you know you're going to be using it on fuel, you can, for no fees, get that fuel card, and you're getting some bonus money on top of that. So you're just making your hard-earned dollars go a little bit further. Yeah.
So Ivan, one of the I won't say arguments, or one of the questions that come up a lot for companies that aren't using something like ZayZoon or another service, right, earned wage access for their employees, is they feel, and I want you guys to kind of tear this apart, because I know this, I don't believe this personally. They feel like some of it could be predatory, right? You're allowing someone who is earning something to take the money and then potentially not have enough later, right? And I'm sure you've heard this argument a ton.
Of course.
Talk us through that, because people that are going to listen to this are a lot of iSoft customers. You guys are great partners with iSoft, and some of them are not going to be. So they may not understand what you guys do and just think, oh, short-term payday loans, and this is not that. Walk us through that.
Correct. Yeah, great point. And thanks for giving us a chance to kind of separate ourselves from predatory payday loans companies, which is not us. They're the ones who kind of put out of business.
I've been researching a lot because we're going through student loan process for college now, and I keep telling my daughter, no, we're not doing. We don't need it. We're good. We're not doing it. Oh, but everyone's doing that, right? And for the next 30 years, you'll be paying that back. So like, we're not doing this, right? Yeah. So talk us through this. Talk people off.
So payday loans, predatory payday loans companies is $1 billion industry all in it by itself. And then another one what we're trying to keep our customers away from are even just going into the overdraft.
Yeah.
So having ZayZoon available or earned wage access, the fees are very minimal. Like Jaryn was saying, the most that an employee will pay through us is $5.
Yeah, that's nothing.
With alternative free options too. So, instead of going into the overdraft when you got your phone bill coming through, why not use ZayZoon? Instead of waiting until payday to get groceries, why not pay $5 or get a gift card for free and just have it come off of your paycheck?
We're not charging 12% interest after they take it. Like, this is their money. They've earned it, right? Like, this isn't a new thing, but it's foreign.
Going back to the point earlier too, you mentioned the gig economy. We have been seeing some trends as well of hourly employees who would give away their shifts so that they could drive for Uber or drive DoorDash
because they needed the money
because they get paid the same day. So that could be some value add for your employers. If you could compete with these DoorDash gigs and all these sorts of places because you have earned wage access available.
Yeah, so it's a good point. And so, Jaryn, we'll get your thought here. There's a big concern with burnout, right? Employee burnout, and just people being unhappy at work. And so if they're taking time off, right, they're taking a personal day because they can go make whatever, $300 driving Uber for the day and get access to that money immediately. That makes a big difference, right? However, that employee is now taking a personal day. They're now working on top of that. They're going to get burnt out. And if they do this over and over and over, at some point, you're going to lose them, right? You're going to lose the employee. Not only that, they may decide, well, I'm just going to go work here because I can earn more money if I actually hustle more. And now you're competing with the likes of Ubers and Lyft and DoorDash and all these others because, one, they give you the money, and two, you actually can make, in the right area, more money than what you're probably making at your current job, right? So there's a retention factor here. But Jaryn, talk us around the idea that companies are using stuff like this for retention and as an actual recruitment tool.
Yeah, I think we've kind of beat around the bush with all these answers so far. What we see actually is when we've asked employees, we've asked employers, et cetera, an overwhelming majority of employees said they would switch jobs if the pay was equal, but earned wage access was a benefit. So employees are chasing the most comfortable job. They want the best benefits. And the benefits that employees maybe want now are different than what they were 10, 15, 20 years ago, even 5 years ago, right? You talked about the last couple of years, earned wage access has kind of spiked. And so being able to meet employees where they are, not only in terms of the benefits that they need, but actually, making them feel valued, giving them resources, helping them with their finances, right? We know finances is it's the biggest stress that employees take with them into the workplace. And so being able to kind of, give them those, I think now I hear about my dad talk about it all the time. He's in his 50s. He might even be in his 60s now. This just wasn't,
might be,
might be. Yeah. If he ever listens to this,
he looks like he's 20, but
he
it might be.
Yeah,
in his 60s.
He looks like he's 20, but he could be in his 60s. Yeah. But like this was not something that he ever had access to when he was working. Right. It was. He wanted to go to work. He wanted to come home. That was it.
Right.
And so the needs of employees are changing, and that's really what we're trying to bridge the gap of.
Right. That's, so we're here at the iSolve Connect, and the podcast series is called The Heroes of HR. Okay. Now, we've never spoken about this together, but when you hear the term people heroes, we'll start with Ivan. When you hear the term people heroes, what comes to mind?
Well, in this context, I think it's just HR professionals that just go above and beyond for their people, going that extra mile and whatever that might look like.
Yeah, it's something that I agree, right? And I'm sure everybody here would agree. iSolved has a community called the People Heroes, right? Which I haven't seen the sidekicks around, the big sidekicks, but they have their community, and we've been talking to these people now for better part of 2 years, and to hear their stories of success and what they're doing internally at the company. They don't get recognized often, right, in the company. They're just doing their job. But then they come to an event like this, or they join a community like this, and they're able to talk with their peers, right, around all the good things, whether it's investigations, the impacts that they're having, and things like that. So it's a question we always like to ask. Jaryn, I want to get your thoughts on that as well. People heroes, and maybe even look at ZayZoon from when you hear the term people heroes, what comes to mind for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. A good friend of mine always says life's about people, not things. And so that's what I think of when I think of the term people hero is somebody that puts others first, whether they're you being so courteous to us has been, in some ways made our lives 1% better, maybe more.
There we go.
More, right? Maybe less.
I'm going to go with like
definitely
50%.
Yeah, 50% better, right?
I'm just going to jump out there and say that.
The only thing that would maybe make it a little bit better is if we were in the sun versus in the shade.
There we go. Yeah.
But I realize there's some limitations there.
Yeah. Oh, you want the sun?
I would love the sun.
I want the shade.
Yeah,
I'm good with the shade.
Yeah, we're from Canada, and it's like
you get a lot of
30 degrees Fahrenheit right now, so we're looking for the sun.
Yeah.
But I think of anybody that says to their employees, "I see you, I hear you, and let's work together to make your life even just 1% better every single day." I think is that to me is a people hero.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of you to say the other name. When you think people here, you thought Ivan, but you guys just don't care about it.
Let's revolve.
Yeah,
let's reverse everything. When I think of people hero, Ryan, I think of
there you go. Yeah. When I left, I come from Philly. It was 34 degrees. And then I had jeans on and a hoodie and a jacket, and then I got here. I was like, Jesus God, I got to take all this off. I got changed. I throw my shorts on and a t-shirt in the airport. I did that before I got into my Uber because I was dying. It was awful. But guys, I appreciate the time that you spend here today. I hope you get a lot of good conversations because there's a lot of good people. Once they get out of their sessions, they're all learning. Go figure. You'll have a lot of good conversations here.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank you so much.